information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Books, PD products, science, fashion, and glam talk. From Bollywood to Hollywood, it's Meet and Greet with Dr. Afshan Hashmi. Every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Right here on K4HD Radio and Talk4 TV. And here's your host, international speaker, educator, award-winning entrepreneur, and best-selling author, Dr. Afshan Hashmi.
Hello everyone, this is your loving host Dr. Afshan Hashmi, live from Florida studio of K4HD Radio and Talk4 TV. And friends, before I start the program, today I will be reviewing a book. I want to remind you that these are my two books. The first one is The Modern Mughal Mentality, New Strategies to Succeed in India and the Global Marketplace. And for this book was hot #1 release on Amazon as well as best-selling book on Amazon. And I want a documentary to be made, so all those Hollywood, Bollywood producers, independent producers listening, and companies who are here in the featured in this book, please contact me at afshan@drafshanhashmi.com. And for my second book, The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection, this was also an Amazon bestseller. I want a movie to be made or a TV serial to be made. So all those producers and directors and independent filmmakers listening, please contact me at afshan@drafshanhashmi.com. If you haven't read these two books, please go and buy these two books and give me an honest review. And these books brings food to the table, so it is very important that you go and buy this book and increase the sale of this book. Having said that, now I will ask DJ, my sound engineer, to please play the first commercial.
Would you love exposure for your business, product, or service to over 300 million potential listeners? Send an email to info@talk4media.com. And now let's hear from some of our sponsors.
Chapter 2: How Jugaad leads to multi-sector success stories in India, including definitions of the Jugaad management principle business model. Of the book The Modern Mughal Mentality, New Strategies to Succeed in India and the Global Marketplace. Inspiration. True Jugaad is an inspiration on how to create products using technology that meet the price-value equation. According to a Harvard Business Review article featuring expert Prahlad and Mashelkar, most innovation programs are built on the assumptions of affluence and abundance. We see the rich and the young in both the developed and the developing countries demanding environmental friendly products and services. They also believe that affordability and sustainability are crucial to driving successful business today. New technologies and radical business models are important not only to penetrate mass markets in India but in the entire world. By reconfiguring all areas of the business structure they will hold.
A monstrous infection is spreading worldwide. OMG, is this a simple infection or a deliberate attempt to ruin the human population? Or maybe it's bioterrorism. What is this global infection and who is spreading it? Help us find out. Go to Amazon and search for The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection. The human race needs your help to make this go viral. Go to Amazon.com and read The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection to find out what happens next. Go now! The world is depending on you.
now, back to Dr. Afshan Hashmi's radio show.
Friends, to bring this kind of program, to produce it, it requires lot of energy and money. So I would request you to please give me sponsorship for this program, as this program is syndicated worldwide to 300 million listeners on more than 100 platforms. And also, for friends, now I will ask DJ to please play the sponsorship film.
Would you love exposure for your business, product, or service to over 300 million potential listeners? Send an email to info@talkformedia.com. And now let's hear from some of our sponsors.
A monstrous infection is spreading worldwide. Oh my God, is this a simple infection or a deliberate attempt to ruin the human population? Or maybe it's bioterrorism. What is this global infection and who is spreading it? Help us find out. Go to Amazon and search for The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection. The human race needs your help to make this go viral. Go to Amazon.com and read The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection to find out what happens next. Go now. The world is depending on you.
The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection, Chapter 1, 1964 to 2018, and this is the sample track, and it is read by Dr. Afshan Hashmi. In a sprawling bungalow in Potomac, Maryland, USA, lived Dr. Honey Singh, a board-certified internal medicine and family practice physician, along with his beautiful wife, Baby Singh. Baby Singh was a fashionista and was funding women's causes through her Honey Bay Foundation. She had a ladies' book club by the name of Baby's Glam and Glitzy Club, which had many glam and glitzy ladies who were professionals living in Washington, D.C., Potomac, Maryland, Virginia, and even Beverly Hills, California, as well as elites from all of America meeting at her place on the last Wednesday of every month, discussing various aspects of charities they wanted her and Dr. Honey to fund. In this club, there was a wide spectrum of career women. There were doctors, lawyers, actresses, business owners, and models, to name a few. In these book club meetings, members would come prepared after reading a book of a famous woman author, and that author was even invited from any part of the world to give her presentation, followed by a Q&A in this prestigious and elite gathering. So now, friends, let's do this. The review of this book. The book is called Secret City, The Hidden History of Gay Washington by James Kirchick. And this is the book, and it's a fantastic book. So let's start the review. And first, I will talk about the book. It's a New York Times bestseller. Not since Robert Caro's Years of Lyndon Johnson have I been so riveted by a work of history. Secret City is not gay history, it's an American history. George Stephanopoulos. Washington, D.C. has always been a city of secrets. Few have been more dramatic than the ones revealed in James Kirchick Secret City. For decades, the specter of homosexuality haunted Washington. The mere suggestion that a person might be gay destroyed reputations, ended careers, and ruined lives. At the height of the Cold War, fear of homosexuality became intertwined with the growing threat of international communism, leading to a purge of gay men and lesbians from the federal government. In the favored atmosphere of political Washington, the secret, too loathsome to mention, held enormous terrifying power. Utilizing thousands of pages of declassified document, interviews with over 100 people, and material unearthed from presidential libraries and archives around the country. Secret City is a chronicle of American politics like no other, beginning with the tragic story of Summer Wallace, Franklin Delano Roosevelt's brilliant diplomatic advisor and the man at the center of the greatest national scandal since the existence of the United States. James Kirchick illuminates how homosexuality shaped each successful presidential administration through the end of the 20th century. Cultural and political anxiety over gay people sparked a decades long witch hunt impacting everything from the rivalry between the CIA and the FBI to the ascent of Joseph McCarthy, the struggle for black civil rights, and the rise of the conservative movement. Among other revelations, Kerchik tells of the World War II era gay spy master who pioneered seduction as a tool of American espionage. The devoted aide from Lyndon Johnson, treated as a son yet abandoned once his homosexuality was discovered, and how allegations of a homosexual ring controlling Ronald Reagan nearly derailed his 1980 election victory. Magisterial in scope and intimate in detail, Secret City will forever transform our understanding of American history. About the author, about James Kirchick is a columnist for Tablet magazine, a writer at large for Airmail, and the author of Secret City: The Hidden History of Gay Washington. A widely published journalist, he has written for the New York Times, the Washington Post, the Wall Street Journal, the Los Angeles Times, the Frankfurter Ali, Ming Zenton, The Spectator, the Atlantic, the New York Review of Books, and the Times Literary Supplement, among many other publications. His first book, The End of Europe: Dictators, Demagogues, and the Coming Dark Age, was published by Yale University Press in 2017. Kirkett is presently a non resident senior fellow for the Europe Center at the Atlantic Council. From 2017 to 2021, he was a visiting fellow at the Center on the United States and Europe and Project on International Order and Strategy at the Brookings Institution. Prior to Brookings, he was a fellow at the Foreign Policy Initiative in Washington, D.C., and a Robert Bosch Foundation Fellow in Berlin. In 2010, he became writer at large for Radio Free Europe slash Radio Liberty in Prague, where he covered the politics and cultures of the 21 countries in the news company's broadcast region. He covered major events including the first Libyan civil war, a fraudulent presidential election in Belarus, and revolution and ethnic clashes in Kyrgyzstan. Karkaj began his professional journalism career at the New Republic, where he covered domestic politics, lobbying, intelligence, and American foreign policy. Recognized for his voice on American gay politics and international gay rights, he is a recipient of the National Lesbian and Gay Journalist Association's Journalist of the Year Award. He is a professional member of the PEN American Center. And now some editorial reviews. Secret City by James Kirchick is a sprawling and enthralling history of how the gay subculture in Washington, D.C., long in shadow, emerged into the cling lights, a luxurious, slow rolling Cadillac of a book not to be mastered in one sitting. As an epic of a dark age, complex and shaded, Secret City is rewarding in the extreme. The New York Times. The truth most clearly revealed by Kirchick's focus on Washington is one that queer historians have emphasized for years, that change was prompted not by those in the halls of power but by activists working well outside of them. So many of those whom Kirchick chronicles seem more compromised by their proximity to power than embroidered by it. That is also a part of the story of gay life in the United States, and Kirkus tells it well. The New Yorker, a robust and meaningful story smartly written with a flexible aperture for capturing the big picture of a moment and narrowing in on the tiniest of details. Time. The existence and influence of LGBTQ people in our nation's capital is as long as it is invisible. Secret City examines the unknown or barely known lives of gay people working and living in our nation's capital, a city known for its mix of power and secrets, an example of the triumph of LGBTQ people in America. NBC News. With Secret City, Kirchick will be catapulted into the ranks of those journalists whose work will be read for generations. New York Sun. Kirchick's Secret City researches and illuminates just how homosexuality shaped presidential administration in the 20th century. Parade. There's never been a book like Secret City, which documents over a half century of the gay political and social scenes in the U.S. capital city, a sweeping epic history of gay DC, the Daily Beast. Kirchick refreshingly portrays the gay Washington underground as a parallel and central world to the seat of American power instead of merely a gay ghetto. It is in many years one of the most human works of history written this decade so far. Much like the gay community itself, the book contains people from every social class, color, personality, and profession, from disabled and impoverished veterans to the country's second most powerful diplomat. Never preachy, self conscious, or boring. Secret City has raised the bar for the genre, portraying its subject and that city in all its contradictions. I won't forget it. Washington Examiner, a meticulously researched, a vital new addition to the historical record. Secret City chronicles American history, proving that pure history in the US is really just history. The Advocate, engrossing, novelistic, and deeply sympathetic to minorities persecuted in the last century, a comprehensive and deeply human work of history. Washington Monthly, sweeping new book. Washingtonian, DC's latest must read. Axios, Secret City is itself full of high grade gossip, and I mean that as a compliment, but Kirchick is up to serious business as well. The broad sweep should make this book the standard on its subject. Reason, a riveting and sober look at American history. Arlington Magazine, Kirchick's history is an inspiring and overdue tribute to the brave individuals who fought for acceptance in a city and government long pitted against them. In Secret City, James Kirchick has written delicious page turners that also an important and masterly work of American history commentary. In the absorbing and well documented book, Kirchick engagingly draws attention to a variety of gay histories that have been largely lost to mainstream history. Ambitious and convincing, the book offers countless illuminating stories that have been grossly underserved in past political histories, an important addition to American history. Kirkus, ambitious, available, and often fascinating revision of US political history. Publishers Weekly. Scrapulously researched and novelistic in style, Secret City is an extraordinary achievement. In this spellbinding journey from the New Deal to the end of the Cold War, James Kirchick draws us into the demi-monde of gay Washington's our dangerous world, swirling with informers, scandal sheets, blacklists, clandestine networks, and brave fighters for equality, shedding new light on the figures we thought we knew. He introduces us to compelling individuals we will never forget. Not since Robert Caro's years of Lyndon Johnson have I been so riveted by a work of history. Secret City is not gay history, it's American history. George Stephanopoulos. In Secret City, James Kirchick tells a Washington, D.C. Cold War story that few have heard, how the political obsession with secrecy, together with the fear of communist influence, distorted perceptions not only of gay people but of reality itself, weaving together political, social, and cultural history. Secret City offers an unexpected corrective to the historical record. Anne Applebaum, Pulitzer Prize winning author of Gulag and Iron Curtain, a remarkable, hugely impressive accomplishment, exhaustively researched, skillfully told, erudite, heartfelt, that speaks not only to the impact of double lives on our nation's life, but also to the individual toll of wailing your soul. It makes me sad, but more than that, it makes me grateful for all that has changed since those days of lies and whispers. Frank Bruni, contributing opinion writer, The New York Times. Kirchick takes us from the FDR administration to Bill Clinton with a thoroughness and eye for detail that astonish. Lovers of Washington lore will enjoy the depiction of gay life in the nation's capital when it was entirely underground, and lovers of justice will take pleasure in the fact that some of the most repulsive characters in modern political history who ruined so many lives and careers are brought to justice in the only way they can be now, the historical record. Andrew Holleran, author of Dancer from the Dance. Now and then a new book about American politics comes along, for which revelation seems to tame a world so proudly does it alter our understanding of almost everything we thought we knew. James Kirchick's remarkable history of the secret life of Washington is just such a book, a triumph of investigation and storytelling. Sam Tannenhaus, author of Whitaker Chambers, a biography, and former editor of the New York Times Book Review. Secret City is a sweeping grand look at once was forced to be hidden. In his deeply researched narrative, Kirchick has restored men and women lost to history due to their sexuality, and in doing so he shines a new light on our understanding of politics and government, evoking memories of, and the band played on this look at the secret city makes our history clear. John A. Farrell, author of Richard Nixon The Life, Kirchick has written a mesmerizing and moving account of gay proximity to power and the shocking resistance to it in America's capital city long before the modern gay rights movement began. Thanks to Kirchick, this important history will be overlooked no more. Dale Carpenter, author of Flagrant Conduct, The Story of Lawrence V. Texas. So this was a little bit about the thing, and now, friends, I will go on a break, and I will ask DJ to play the movie which I gave him to play.
Hello viewers, this is Dr. Afshan Hashmi with her segment Glam World with Dr. Afshan Hashmi, and now I want to tell you that there are some beautiful moments captured in the camera on my second book launch of The Outbreak of the Monstrous Infection, and enjoy these beautiful moments and let me know your comments at afshan@trafshanhashmi.com. Thank you and cheers and bye bye.
But I have a question for you. How did your humble husband, and in which way did Mustafa Bhai contribute and help you in writing The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection?
This book I kept in close to my heart. I didn't show him anything. In fact, in last book I used to show him, but this one he was very curious that what am I doing? Who am I? What am I doing? What am I writing? Because he was very curious, and sometimes he would be happy, sometimes he would be irritated, but I didn't show him any script. But when I was sitting and deciding the name of the book, then all of a sudden I was thinking of names, and he said monstrous word would be good. So I liked it, and the monstrous words come from Mustafa. So that's all his contribution is.
That's all. I think Mustafa Bhai, where is he? He needs a big round of applause. Where are you? I think that's the biggest contribution I've ever... Dr. Mira, hint, hint. All right. Now, here, this really amazed me. And Desis are very, very good at giving gifts and attending rituals and celebrations. And we don't go in one, but we go in thousands to attend as a celebration. Now, in this particular book, what got to me was I have attended thousands and thousands of celebrations. I have served as a master of ceremony, I've danced, and I've held microphone in just about every hotel in Washington, D.C., international, national. This is the first time in Trump, though. But I've never heard of the following gift giving. I've heard people say, you don't have to bring a gift, just write your donation to the temple. Or, oh, thank you very much for the present. But in this particular book, the gift giving is nothing but blood donation. Now, Dr. Hashmi, can you explain this? This is very, very intriguing. How did you come up with this? How on earth did you think of this idea?
As you know, Nilma, I love creativity and innovation, and that's why I like President Trump so much. In India, I have seen many patients without having the right blood available to them in the hospitals, especially pregnant women. Then the family is already so stressed out, goes into panic mode. It's a very good gesture to donate blood. If one is healthy, one should practice donating blood more often. Also, some hospitals in India have difficulty in getting the blood. The book is about a wealthy couple getting married. God Almighty have given them everything. So why not, instead of asking for present, ask your guests to donate blood? I wanted to highlight this problem and educate my viewers and readers on it.
Very interesting. It's more of a reason for you all to acquire the book and read the book. Now, Dr. Hashmi, we all know that you're a world-renowned, famous author, a radio personality, a Fox 5 TV artist, and a broadcast diva. You've always stated to me, whenever I've met you, no matter how busy you are, that one lives and learns in life, and that is a motto that you've always followed very closely to your heart. Might we know, would you like to share what experiences in your life might you have encountered that has made you to author this current publication?
Thank you, Nilma, for this wonderful question. I just wanted to write a science fiction book and show my science capabilities to the world, because I didn't get a faculty position, and this is kind of a very, very weak point for me. I was very disappointed when I did not get a faculty position and had to leave science because of it. How long can one do postdoctoral fellowship? It's very hard, long hours, sometimes like in the night at 12 or 1, I used to be back, very tired. I had no family life. Mustafa would come and sit there, and since my experiment was going on, so how long a married person can do that? And with postdoctoral fellowship, it is that after a certain age, they don't even take you as postdoc. So I wanted to highlight this. And also I wanted to highlight how much damage viruses and bacteria can cause to the human population.
Beautiful. But you know what? Life is long. Don't lose hope, because you never know. There's several doctors here. And even in medical field, and Dr. Witek probably can vouch for this, because there are some people that we know, young children, young students, that actually write part 1, part 2 of board. But then there's a certain amount of time that is given to write your third board, to become a physician, to practice medicine. But then there are other venues, there are other research fields, or authors like you, they venue into other ways, which you successfully did. So congratulations again.
I'm looking for a job, and there are a couple of people from NIH. Avi Bhai, Can I become your assistant?
But I'm first in the number because I'm biochemist. And now, getting back to my questions, Dr. Hashmi, I know you've traveled the world. You're a renowned traveler as well, and I know that you recently paid a visit to India. Did your this visit have any impact or any relationship to your current book?
That's a very interesting question, Nilma. No, not really. This plot was already developed by me way before going to India in my most recent trip, which was in the wedding of my niece. I have attended many weddings of affluent people in India. As you know, I am descendant of a royal family of Pahetia, a town in eastern UP of Ghazipur. My maternal and paternal grandpas were cousins, and my maternal grandpa, a renowned freedom fighter of India, left everything in Pahetia and moved to Lucknow to inspire young generation of India. During the freedom struggle of India, he started a newspaper which is today's Qawmi Awaz. All my life I have attended all kinds of wedding and took active part in traditional settings, so I know how weddings takes place in India. I have taught culture of India to vast audience, so this is all coming from experience. So, friends, how did you like? This was my launch of the second book, The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection. This book here in Trump International, and I did the launching ceremony in that hotel, and it was a beautiful launch. And I invited many of my friends. So, how did you like that? So, coming back to do let me know in the comment section and your thoughts about it. And also I would like you to please sponsor this show, as this show is syndicated worldwide to 300 million listeners. Having said that, this is the book we are reviewing today, and I have read some editorial about the book, about the author, and also I have given you the editorial reviews from various newspapers and personalities. And my review is that this book is very well written. I did not know about the book. I saw this book while browsing books in Barnes and Noble store. I like the way the book is written and give it 5 stars. And I can review your books, movies, and cosmetic products in this program. And do send me some books to review. And I have reviewed thousands of books and cosmetic products, as well as movies and TV serials. And I can do that. And just imagine how your product will be promoted in a grand way, in a very reasonable price, to more than 300 million listeners, as this program, as I said earlier, also is syndicated worldwide to 300 million listeners. And now I have reviewed my this book, and now I will read little bit from this book. This is the front of the book, and this is the back of the book. So this is Comrades. Since its establishment by an act of Congress in 1790, Washington, D.C. has attracted men and women from every segment of American society: Federalist and anti Federalist, Democrats and Republicans, Northerners and Southerners, Easterners and Westerners, immigrants and native citizens, and slaves all have come to this marble metropolis to join in the perpetual endeavor to form a more perfect union. Included among their number, though scarcely recognized then or now, has been another group of Americans, one whose obscurity was the consequence of their being forced to hide. What linked them was a sin so vile as to be virtually unspeakable. The early Christian church condemned these descendants of the biblical Sodom and Gomorrah as those who exchange natural relations or unnatural. So this is little bit from the comrades, and now let me read little bit This moral leper, in his opening argument at the perjury trial of Alger Hiss, which began on June 1, 1949 at the U.S. District Courthouse in Manhattan, and lawyer Paul Stryker demonstrated for the packed courtroom why he was the greatest criminal defense attorney since Clarence Dora. I will take Alger Hiss by the hand, Stryker told the jurors, and I will lead him before you from the date of his birth down to this hour. Even though I would go into the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil because there is no blot or blemish on him. As for his accusers, Whitaker Chambers had been a furtive, secretive, deceptive man even before he joined the low down, nefarious, filthy conspiracy against the land that I love and you love, and whose blood money he accepted for the prostitution of his soul. So it's a very well written book with lot of American history, and I loved reading this book. And if you get a chance, do read this book. And I give this book 5 stars. Having said that, friends, now I will go on a break and will be back soon.
Would you love exposure for your business, product, or service to over 300 million potential listeners? Send an email to info@talkformedia.com. And now let's hear from some of our sponsors.
A monstrous infection is spreading worldwide. Oh my God, is this a simple infection or a deliberate attempt to ruin the human population? Or maybe it's bioterrorism. What is this global infection and who is spreading it? Help us find out. Go to Amazon and search for The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection. The human race needs your help to make this go viral. Go to Amazon.com and read The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection to find out what happens next. Go now. The world is depending on you.
The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection, Chapter 1, 1964 to 2018, and this is the sample track, and it is read by Dr. Afshan Nahid Hashmi. In a sprawling bungalow in Potomac, Maryland, USA, lived Dr. Honey Singh, a board-certified internal medicine and family practice physician, along with his beautiful wife, Baby Singh. Baby Singh was a fashionista and was funding women's causes through her Honey Bay Foundation. She had a ladies' book club by the name of Baby's Glam and Glitzy Club, which had many glam and glitzy ladies who were professionals living in Washington, D.C., Potomac, Maryland, Virginia, and even Beverly Hills, California, as well as elites from all of America meeting at her place on the last Wednesday of every month discussing various aspects of charities they wanted her and Dr. Honey to fund. In this club, there was a wide spectrum of career women. There were doctors, lawyers, actresses, business owners, and models, to name a few. In these book club meetings, members would come prepared after reading a book of a famous woman author, and that author was even invited from any part of the world to give her presentation, followed by a Q&A in this prestigious and elite gathering. So now I will read little bit from this chapter 10 of the book, and it says Homington. If you are wondering where your wandering semi boy is tonight, the authors of the third most popular non-fiction book of 1951 reveal he's probably in Washington. An editor and a columnist, respectively, for the right-wing New York Daily Mirror, Jack Late and Lee Mortimer had published moderately successful pulp paperback exposes of Chicago and New York City before setting their heart world site on the nation's capital. Though the scammy underbelly of urban America was their beat, nothing prepared those muckrakers for the depravity they would recount in Washington Confidential. We think we have x-rayed the dizziest, and this will amaze you as it did us, the dirtiest community in America, late and Mortimer announced. So, friends, this was reading little bit from this book, and I already gave this book 5 stars. And please do give a sponsorship for these shows because it requires lot of money to produce these kind of shows. And also send me some books, cosmetics, movies, or TV serials to review. And I have reviewed thousands of TV serials. If you give me sponsorship of this show, your product will be promoted in a very grand way to more than 300 million listeners. Just imagine the vast audience I have for this program. And please go and buy this book, The Modern Mughal Mentality, New Strategies to Succeed in India and the Global Marketplace, and The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection. These two books were Amazon bestsellers, and this first book, The Modern Mughal Mentality, New Strategies to Succeed in India and the Global Marketplace, was also hot #1 new release on Amazon. And this one was also an Amazon bestseller. And as I said, these two books were Amazon bestsellers. And for this first book, The Modern Mughal Mentality, I want a documentary to be made. So all those companies who are featured in this, please contact me at afshan@drafshanhashmi.com. And independent producers, Bollywood, Hollywood, Netflix, Amazon producers and directors, please contact me at afshan@drafshanhashmi.com. And for this one, The Outbreak of a Monstrous Infection, I want a movie to be made. So please, all those Hollywood, Bollywood producers, please contact me at afshan@drafshanhashmi.com. And now, friends, I will end this program and see you next Thursday on Hollywood Radio and Talk for TV at 6 p.m. US Eastern Time live. Cheers and bye bye.
You've been listening to Meet and Greet with Dr. Afshan Hashmi on K4HD Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in live right here every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Would you love exposure to your business, product, or service to over 300 million potential listeners? Send an email to info@talk4media.com. And remember, if you miss any part of this show or want to hear it again, find our featured show on iHeartRadio or YouTube, where all past episodes are available on demand 24/7. See you next Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on K4HD and Talk4 TV.